How did you first become acquainted with Riem Eisler's work?
Well, as it happens, I became acquainted with her work by synchronicity, by what Jung calls synchronicity, which is often happened to me with books, with people, with events that really can transform my life. So about 15 years ago, around 15 years ago, I met her through her first book, The Chalice and the Blade. And that book struck a note in my life, not only from the professional point of view. I'm a professor, university professor of English literature, or the literatures in English, but most of all, I must say, from my personal human point of view, I think that her work sort of transformed in a positive way my spiritual endeavor, my spiritual search. The idea that we don't have to choose between black and white, but that there is a middle way and a sort of that we can work in a circle, that really struck me as a most profound and interesting outlook on reality that she has, and that really, as what she does in her book Chalice and the Blade, is to rewrite our history, even going back to our archaeological past. She successfully says something about our present and how we can be human or more human in the fullest sense.
Tell me some of the details of those myths, though. What are the myths that we're living with that are creating such dissonance for us?
Well, I think that basically the fact that the feminine principle, the spiritual principle of femininity or the goddess was put out of the picture for many, many thousands of years, like I think 8,000 or 10,000 of years. That is the root of the problem. When patriarchal or dominant, as Riem Eisler called it, vision of reality came into the world, telling us that the world has to be built like a pyramid or a ladder with someone on top, commanding the world, governing the world from the top, and everybody has to obey, follow through the ladder. That is where the problem begins. And we have this image of God as an old man with a long beard, very severe look, that is going to punish us. Well, the image of the goddess that Riem Eisler presents, and with her many anthropologists and archaeologists and many feminist writers, is different. This image is a more joyous image. Life in the body, not afterwards, but in the physical body, is there to be enjoyed, is there to be lived with laughter, sensual pleasure, enjoyed, I think, in bliss. So we can be happy here and now, not tomorrow, not after our death, not after our physical bodies sort of go back to the Mother Earth, but even now, even in the physical form that we assume simply to have experience of the physical form.